Sasha here with the Little Darker Tree, owner and creator of the Little Darker Tree and the littledarkertree.com. Welcome back. We are here today to discuss how to keep your dog's eyes clean and clear and tear-free, and most importantly, how to prevent those tear stains that happen in quite a few of our light-colored or white dogs. It's more common in some breeds than others, and I'll tell you how to keep them clear naturally. So, two of the things that I do for my daycare guests, especially when I know that I have a dog coming in that's a specific breed, like a Havanese or a Bichon, or sometimes my Cotton Terriers will get the tear stains. Number one, the most important thing you can do is keep the water clean. Water, standing water, does get bacteria in it, and that bacteria will go into your dog's system, and that bacteria will come out basically in the eyes. So one of the ways we secrete the bacteria from our body is through our eyes or our tear ducts. So you want to make sure, super easy thing to do, just make sure that bowl is clean and your water is fresh. The next thing you can do is make sure that you are using filtered water. If you have a dog breed that is more prone to getting tear stains, filtered water has less minerals in it, and the mineral content is actually going to come out. It has a chemical reaction with the air, becomes oxidized, and actually causes that discoloration, that coppering kind of look around the eye. So the less minerals in the water, the less tear stains you'll have. After that, there are a couple natural things you can do to the water to treat it to make sure that you're reducing those tear stains. The very easiest, and probably what everyone has in their house already, is vinegar, white vinegar. It's got to be the white vinegar or clear vinegar, not apple cider vinegar. That won't help. So the basically just standard, this is a Heinz version. You can get generic, you can get whatever you want from your grocery store. Just put about a capful. And when I say a capful, I'm literally meaning take the cap and just pour a little bit into the cap. You can take it halfway cap full or a full cap full and just pour it into the water. Mix it up. Now, if your dog smells it and is like, why did you put vinegar in my water? That's okay. You can add something else. My go-to remedy is literally to do a chicken bouillon. So I boil chicken. I save the water that it's boiled into. And that is typically what I use as water for my dogs a lot of times. And so I don't even give them, water from the sink or even filtered water. I'm using filtered water that turns into boiled chicken broth. And that chicken broth is usually what I'm giving them. Now, it smells just like chicken and has particulates of chicken in it. So I'll put a capful of the vinegar in there and they drink it all up without any question of the vinegar. So that's one trick you can do if your dog just won't take the vinegar. You can also start with a smaller amount. It doesn't take much vinegar. So if you have a very large bowl, you can use about half a cap or a full cap. If you have a smaller dog and it's a small bowl, just a couple drops, because what you want to do is hedge off the bacteria or any fungi growing in the bowl. It'll also go through their system. It'll help realign their pH and kind of bring them back to a nice base, and that by default will help prevent the actual tearing and therefore the tear stains that occur in your dog's eyes. Now, a couple other things that are just grooming specific. If your dog has bulbular eyes, the eyes that kind of bulge out almost like Kermit the Frog, you're going to want to make sure that their eye area isn't too tight for their eye. A simple trip to the vet will tell you if their eye area is really tight. Dogs with really tight eyes tend to not have a lot of lubrication, and so that can cause basically the tearing because they're drying out. So you just use saline solution or a simple vet product to basically keep their eyes moistened. That's okay. You can also put a little Vaseline on them, and that'll keep them moistened so they don't basically create tears so to actually make them wet. So does that make sense? So if your dog has bulbular eyes, you probably are already familiar with this. If you're looking at getting a puppy or looking at getting a breed with bulbular eyes, just kind of keep in mind that those eyes will dry out faster and then cause the ducts in there to create their own lubrication, which is the tearing, to make sure they stay moist. Now, if you don't have a dog with that and they keep getting tear stains, there's a couple other things you can check. Number one, make sure that their face is clear of hair. So you're going to want to make sure it's clipped and trimmed back so it's not poking them in the face, just like your own hair. If it was in your eyes, it can make your eyes water. Number two, you're going to make sure that they don't have any ingrown eyelashes. It's very, very, very common for dogs to have 1 or 2 ingrown eyelashes, which is basically causing irritation and therefore causing the tearing or the lubrication of the eye to water. So simple way to check, just look at their eye sideways, and if you see any of those eyelashes poking their eye, that would be an ingrown eyelash. You can use tweezers if your dog will let you do it. You can bring them to a vet and they can take care of it for you. You're basically just taking that eyelash out. The eyelash will grow back, and then hopefully it'll grow back in a normal curved position. So that's a very simple remedy you can do, and it's actually surprisingly common for dogs who get a lot of watery eyes to have an ingrown eyelash. It's just basically irritating their eye. The last thing you can do basically is to make sure that the air part or the lid part around their eye is clean and clear. You can do a quick salt wash. So take a little bit of salt, dilute it in water, take some warm water, check it on your wrist first so it's not too hot, and then once it's actually dissolved in the water, take that and just wipe the eye. What you're doing, the salt will actually draw out any kind of bacteria in there and help heal the eye. A lot of times minor eye infections can go unnoticed, and one of the easiest ways is just to do a quick salt rinse, basically a diluted salt rinse on the eye, where you just apply a little bit of that salt water and just kind of wipe it away. Now you're going to go from the inside of the eye, wiping out, and then also just take any gunk that might be stuck in there. Make sure you're cleaning the eye area around if they already have tear stains or if they already have any muck down there. It's very, very common for dogs to have a low-grade infection, and the first sign is basically their eyes. So just have that checked. You can also use the vinegar, a diluted vinegar. You can take a little bit of the vinegar and put it on a towel with a little bit of warm water. Again, make sure you can put it on your wrist because then it's not too hot for their face. And just use the vinegar. Again, it will realign the pH of the skin and make sure that the eye is not having any kind of low-grade infection. So the next thing you can do is basically, I'm going to show you the main way that you can keep your dogs naturally tear-free and something you can literally plant in your yard. I went and checked. Ours is done for the summer, but I will show you a picture of it. Is euphrasia. Euphrasia is an herb. Let's see if I can pull up a nice picture. So this is euphrasia. Euphrasia is a beautiful plant. It's a natural occurring herb. It's very easy and very hardy to plant in your garden. You can pretty much get it from any garden supply shop or any kind of nursery that you have locally. You can even buy seeds for it online. And then basically you're just going to plant it, and then those flowers themselves you can literally grind up. You can tear them apart. You can put them in food. You can take a mortar pestle and basically squeeze out the oil, kind of rub it around. You'll see the oil, the moisture come out. You can use that. You can put them directly into the water. You can literally put it into any kind of mixed meal that you're creating, and that will actually help. It's an anti-inflammatory and antifungal. And so it'll go into their system, and it'll naturally internally prevent that bacteria and any kind of infection from occurring in the eye. So it's it's very healthy. It's fantastic to use. Now again, ours is already done, so you can dry it out and use it throughout the year. Another thing I will show you that I don't have on hand is euphrasia is commonly called Eyes Bright. And you can buy this pretty much at any store. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it in most pet locations. And Eyes Bright, I will get you a photo of that. Eyes Bright is basically a concentrated dosage of euphrasia. And so, I'm getting weird stuff when I type this in on the internet. So, here it is. So if you type in euphrasia, and euphrasia is spelled E-U-P-H-R-A-S-I-A, and you will see Eyes Bright pop up right there, right in your search. And so Eyes Bright is, again, a concentrated liquid dosage of euphrasia. This one runs for about $8. It looks like $8 to $15. This is on iHerb, and it pretty much is just It's just a natural herb in the drop form. So you can use that. I have used that. I happen to be out of it because I do put it in the water actually quite frequently, especially when I know that I have dogs with a lot of the tear stains. So it's a natural herb. It will prevent the bacteria from growing in the water. Again, it will also make sure that there's no fungus in the water, and then when it goes into your dog's system, it'll make sure that they're not getting any of that infection. So the eyes themselves are one of the first signs of any kind of low-grade infection within the body. So if you have used natural remedies or you're using a prescription remedy that is not working, so you've tried it for at least a month to a couple months, nothing's getting better, maybe it gets better and then it gets worse again, that is a sign that your dog has a low-grade infection. So that you'll want to go ahead and visit a vet for to try to figure out why your dog has a low-grade infection. Quite often it can be from either a topical issue where they've been cut and they just got some staph germs into the system and it just hasn't healed yet. It could be an underlying medical condition, but you'll just want to have that checked out and they'll start ruling out various things. Now, the last thing I will say is that your dog will naturally have higher eye lubrication in the months where pollen is higher. So if your dog has seasonal allergies, just like people, that's totally normal and that's totally okay. During those months where you can predict my dog's going to have more tear stains, you hedge them off by putting some either the Eyes Bright in their eyes or putting some euphrasia that you naturally grow into their water, and it will make sure that the eyes themselves, if they do have to create any additional lubrication, which is basically just moistening of the eye just because it's getting drier, it'll help make sure that the actual eye goop coming out isn't discolored necessarily, because it's the actual bacteria that gets into the system that comes out that's secreted, and it has a chemical reaction with the oxidization of the air, and so that's what discolors it. That's the coppering color. Now, if you are going to naturally wash your dog's eyes, my best tool, I don't have a lot of things that I like to use for dog eyes because it is so close to their eye. Anything chemical wise will get into it. Plus anything that hits their skin will be absorbed into it. So I just use a natural soap just a natural soap and just wet it down. And I usually just use hot water that is cool enough to put onto my wrist. And then I just wipe them. And then again, with the vinegar, you can just do a quick wipe around the eye. You can wash the actual fur area first with just some warm water and maybe a light soap, and then after that the eye area is washed, then just kind of coat it and wipe it with the vinegar, because you're going to kill any of the bacteria and re-pH the actual eye. The other thing you can do is if the vinegar is if the scent is bothering your dog's olfactory nerves, which are right in the back of their throat, so it could annoy them a little bit, just do a quick salt wash instead. So again, dilute some salt in just a nice lukewarm cup of water, wait till it dissolves, and then wipe that around the eye. So the salt itself won't hurt the eye at all, just because the tears are a saline basically, or a sodium base in your own eye and your dog's eye as well. And so you'll just want to try to do a nice wash, and the sodium will actually help it'll kind of dry out any kind of the bacteria and just kind of disinfect, again, causing the eye to re-pH itself, re-pH balance itself, so it's not acidic at all. So that's the easiest way to take care of your dog's eyes. Again, if you have a dog that has reoccurring stains and it's just nothing natural is working, especially if your prescription stuff isn't working, definitely go see the vet, just because it could have an underlying bacterial infection. And that's not as scary as it sounds. Usually just a quick antibiotic dose, or even something just a little bit more intense dropped in the eye can take care of it in usually a couple days. So go ahead and if you like this, please comment and like below. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on Instagram. In addition, feel free to follow our private Facebook group called I Speak Dog Training Club, and we are getting close to Friday, so check out our Q&A time. If you have any questions, put them down below, and we'll try to get a video made for you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.